Hi, Bruce here. I just got off the phone with a producer I know quite well, an old colleague, Phil Bova, started to call me again. Great. Because I feel really at home in the studio, and one of the reasons is because I'm Freudian as all heck. I like to go through all the research. In this instance, it's going to be an Argentine woman. Argentinian? I never know. At any rate, it's kind of like tango influence, and I'm well aware, and I will do my listening. Not only to the tracks that they've said electronically, but also to contemporary tango, which has changed a great deal. I realize this from having worked for 4 years with an Argentine composer, Alicia Borisonic, and cutting an album, which is not bad. It's a lot of salsa, interestingly. So the point is, one of the things I do is decide, what am I going to bring? We do not have cartage where I live, meaning someone you pay to take your stuff there, like Jim Kellner, the drum doctor, that kind of thing. So he says, well, bring me a 26, bring me an 18-inch. I can't do that. I got to fit it all into a red VW Beetle, which actually has surprising luggage space, but you still have to be very careful about how much you bring. Always 30 cymbals or something, percussion, drums, a bunch of snare drums especially. In this instance, 2 bass drums, a 24, which is in the other room, a Camco Chanute, an old brand of drums, of which only the name remains, which is owned by Tama, but the drums, anyway, Camco bass drum, no hole. This bass drum is a 16-inch Yamaha, modeled after what they call a Manukache kids set. This is no kids set, but it is a 16-inch bass drum. And gasp, I have done 2 things: remove the front head, or left only a scrap of head to hold the hoop on. That's sort of, lugs don't rattle. The mic's sticking right there. Second thing, really important, and this is why I did this piece, because I referred to the stilts or the risers built on a lot of contemporary bass drums, 16 and 18 especially. Why did they put them on risers? You're wondering. As a young drummer, man, I wish I had me to listen to, even though I'm scattered and going on and on. Because they put the risers on so that the beater, the bass drum beater, will fall direct center of the drum skin, the drum head, the batter head. Well, to me, okay, fine, that sounds good if you're playing. Okay, like that's a... but John Bonham would never play like that. He'd probably release the beater. And since I'm going to be playing a lot of this music quietly, I'd release the beater, and I can get away with this drum with the batter head tuned up a little more than otherwise. Which brings to mind a protocol. Everybody, especially when you record folk albums, always got to be a conga running 16ths. To me, that's inappropriate for a lot of music. To me, forget to me. Anyway, I don't think I'll be using the congas per se, or in this instance, a Tubano by Remo, which is a marvelous instrument sheet. But I will bring them for percussive effects, but not Cuban conga effects, as it were. Okay, so what am I bringing? A 16 no hole, which I'm gonna play everything quiet. Important is that everything constitute a family. Okay, I don't want the hi-hats, for example, and I'll show you what it sounds like to change a pair, overshadow, and I'll exaggerate here with the playing example, the rest of the drums. So if the hi-hats are too big and loud, I started hitting the snare even louder so to circumvent or transcend the hi-hats. Anyway, the point is, I like these hats. For one reason, the military aspect of the tango. Right? They'll play this, they're quick. I'm wondering whether, I'll bring a lot of stuff. This is just like not me. I want to show you increasingly in this series what simple slight changes bring about. So here's a 13-inch set of hi-hats, different brand. Actually, these are old Sabians when I had to deal with Sabian. Stage hats, or not stage, AAX studio hats, hammered with a BMW hammer. The car, man, sorry, Nar. I guess it's not a trade secret anymore. To me, I think I'm going to be able to do the rocking stuff, and there's very little rocking stuff in this, from what I can tell with this stuff. I think I can get articulation, obviously they're heavier. Sizzles in the bottom. Okay, drums. Oh yeah, small, you want to talk small. 95-year-old K, Turkish made, K Constantinople 12-inch, pretty heavy cymbal. I heard Gad used one of these. That's probably what I did 30 years ago when I was doing jingles in that copy. See, the mic doesn't know the difference. If it's a 16-inch bass drum, the mic's not going to snare. It's how easy for the mic to hear it. I probably wouldn't have it here. I maybe have it as auxiliary, as it were, cymbal. The other thing, small, 12-inch snare drum, 10-inch tom, 13-inch floor tom, 16, no head. I might want to tune such that A, with snares off, they form some sort of a meaningful intervallic or, pitch relationship. Another thing, let's say I'm going to do all the percussion live. I don't know, I'm not the producer, but I'd like to because it's in sync, and if they lose everybody else and then they overdub everybody else, the drums at least sound internally in sync if I'm playing properly. So let's say I'm going out. Anyway, that was silly. I mean, that last bit, but you get the point. So, and then if I'm gonna play some rock and stuff, again, this might be situated elsewhere. I just wanted to show you the difference here quickly. If I were to use, it doesn't matter what other, I'm just gonna show you a snare drum. Mainly because I think the finish is gorgeous. Aqua, who used it? Oh, Alice Roney showed me that first. Anyway, on a Gretsch drum redone by Nora. I don't think this would cut it. It's a nice drum. It's just too much for this drum set. Okay, there are 50 ways to do this session. Slide pun there. And we're going to do it with this drum. And I'll just play some time and, we've done show and tell. But you should really think, pardon me for being bold, but if I was a young drummer, I would really think carefully of doing any recording as if there were one mic hanging over top and you've got to balance everything off the floor. And I'll show you what this means in terms, a ride cymbals. That's a Peisty. I bought the one I did for the Modern Drummer review, which is on the current issue as we speak. It's just a good, talk about mallets. Actually, I started way too. Now, I want to just show you one last thing, okay? Another thing, a lot of this kind of music, you got to decide straight up. Are you doing press rolls? Or clean doubles? guy does this half the time. The left hand or the weaker hand, the butt end. Promotes evenness on the weaker hand. Okay. There's going to be some rock and stuff, but very little in this album. Okay, this cymbal might prove too eccentric. How about another one equally eccentric to which I have attached ribbons? 23-inch flat ride. And another Nord Hargrove when I had the same thing. Deal. It's got rivets in the weirdest place. It's got a little plateau. The cymbal right here. You get a lot of sounds. And for a riding sound, obviously it's got no bell, but there's too much attention placed to bells, frankly. It's cymbals. Delicate. It is not, as Bill Stewart would be wont to do, a crash cymbal. On the other hand, that's the last thing I want to do either, be smacking one drum. Play as if there's one mic, one drum jumps out, it's not the engineer's fault, it's not the mic's fault, it's your fault, and you can hear it. Let's play a little time and get the fuck out of here, Shepard. But anyway, see what I'm getting? I have no idea what's going to happen, what kind of percussion. Now this is shaker with a little plastic specs in it. Maybe I'd be better off to use one that projects better. Again, I don't know. The density of the music and that, I'll know it on the floor. I'll just bring all this stuff with me. You get the point? Cymbal ain't working for me right now in this room, but who knows, it might work in the musical context in which it will be played. Anyway, I'll just play a little time. These are nice. These are, I think, Vic Firth. They look like dreadlocks, you know, speaking of which. You can get a lot of nice, like sort of urban music things, sounds. That's urban. Anyway, so let's play a little time, get out of here. Play a little harmonic if you want. Chromatic, I don't know. Sloppy as old hell all the way around. Anyway, I'll show you how this stuff sounds. Okay, not the playing here, it's the process.